You know, I got to be honest with you here, boss. You don't want to give me that gun. 'Cause I'd probably shoot you with it.
Peace. This is Sese with your Black Agenda Report morning shot for September 29th, 2010. Angela Davis recently visited the community of La Toma in the northern Cauca region of Colombia. This community is historically a site of African and indigenous maroonage, and for over 3 centuries afro-colombians have mined its gold for economic sustenance. Now this community may have its land taken by transnational mining companies in search for land titles from the state. Activists who have resisted these moves have been threatened, displaced, and or assassinated. Davis noted that, quote, everybody who is critical of capitalism should familiarize themselves with the situation in La Toma and Colombia, unquote. Because capitalism's obsession with profit and its inherent rejection of humanity, culture, and history is clearer in the struggle for ancestral territories in La Toma than in any other place in the world. A storm that killed at least 6 people last Friday in Port-au-Prince, Haiti destroyed 8,000 tarps, tents, and shacks. Those who previously occupied them are being threatened with forced eviction by landowners. This has reinvoked the issue of reconstruction spending being held up in U.S. bureaucratic red tape. Not a cent of the $1.15 billion promised by the United States has reached Haitians, and although 50 other nations pledged $8.75 billion, only $686 million, or less than 15%, has reached Haiti. Ezili Danto of the Haitian Lawyers Leadership Network said in a Monday blog post entitled Haiti's Enslavement, the Ruling Oligarchy and the World Profit Over People System, quote, bottom line is the NGOs are raking in misery dollars. United States is keeping Haitians hungry, dying, sick, homeless, frightened, and coward in order to coerce Haitians into accepting the wretched starvation wages of the foreign factory plants, the puppet Haitian government, United Nations occupation, and false benevolence of the NGOs, unquote. Despite its adherence to United Nations sanctions against Iran, Russia will not fully end its military technical cooperation with Iran. Last Wednesday, the Chinese premier spoke at the United Nations Millennium Development Goals Summit in New York and reaffirmed that China will not, meaning ain't gonna, let the United States dictate the terms of its economic expansion and eventual global domination. The premier's words went as follows: America should also recognize China's market economic status, relax export control against China, and take concrete moves to promote free trade in a real sense. Did he just tell America what to do? Now, although these words refer to trade deficit, it's hard not to acknowledge their direct defiance against the United States' controlling hand over China's growth. Moreover, check Russia's blatant what policy that not only challenges but effectively rejects Washington's attempts to control its relationship with Iran. And speaking of Iran, President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad spoke before the 65th United Nations General Assembly and said that an independent investigation of September 11th needs to go down so that we can finally know what really happened to spur the war on terror and the more recent abuses of power committed by the U.S.A. government since the World Trade Center went down. I say this all to demonstrate that regardless of personal and or movement-based political conclusions about China, Russia, and Iran and their intentions on the world stage, they do what the masses of black folks within the United States used to do, and that's defy. Even when black folks had little to no institutional power or military might to back up claims that we would tear this whole damn country up, we defied this place. Organized or disorganized, powerful or powerless, leaders and regular people alike took an oppositional stance towards U.S. domestic and foreign policy and maintained a rather intelligent policy of our own of permanent doubt about the ambitions of the land that enslaved us. So how is this type of anti-empire mentality being cultivated amongst Africans in the United States currently? Who is actively teaching our people to rebel right now? And if nobody is, why aren't we? Do we see some type of benefit in being part of an imperial beast whose sole destiny is to choke on its own poison? Are self-proclaimed revolutionaries biding our time until some more favorable conditions, which will never emerge until we engineer them, arise? Although we might not like to admit it, the aforementioned nations, agree with them or not, are not only making resistance-minded black folks look bad and look like undeserving heirs to the African genealogy of struggle, but they are learning from our example and leaving us behind to drown in Kool-Aid, since we have basically chosen to either support Obama or turn the heat down because Obama's smile isn't as de-lipped and mangy as George W. Bush's. What we do know is that countries with social process that could be to our benefit, such as Venezuela, Bolivia, and Cuba, are eluding us because we have until now been complacent and not bringing revolutionary politics and ethos into our people's consciousness. As long as we fail in this task and don't re-secure our position on the international stage as the vanguard leadership within the United States, there will be the proliferation of more Colombias, Haiti will be further looted, an African-looking president will institute AFRICOM on Africa's soils, and we will be standing idly by, asking the philosophical question of if our Kool-Aid glasses are half empty or half full. This has been your Black Agenda Report Morning Shot. Now shoot, damn it.
And so I think, like in terms of the repression and in terms of the role of the vanguard groups, I think the role of the vanguard group is to bring that repression down before the timetable that has been set up by the system runs its full course. I think it's our responsibility to get the masses involved. And the way you get the masses involved is that you bring the repression down. When you begin to execute political programs, then out of necessity, the system has to do certain things to control or try to put an end to the type of political action that you're executing. And by doing this, they involve the masses of people. The masses of people, from our position, from our viewpoint, is unorganizable. You can't hope to organize the masses of people. Oppression organizes the masses of people. White folks make more revolutionaries than I ever could make.
I just met the most marvelous bunch of niggers. the most marvelous bunch. You get him? Shit.